Good afternoon and welcome to The Scoop with Barb. I am floored by what we have let Elon Musk already get away with. And what we're going to look at today are is a video of congressmen and women saying what the way they present it is each a little bit differently, and it might affect each of us a little different way. And I just want to get the word out what Elon Musk has been given. He's got more information on me than my mother has on my income. Well, I'm an adult, so anybody. He's got your social security number, how much money you've made in your life. He's got he's got tax information. He's the wealthiest man in the world. And I mean, he is a US citizen now, but he has been placed in a place of power that is beyond even what we give our president. So without any further ado, I just want you to listen to how they present their side of what he's doing. And they're trying to reach out to Republicans in the House and Senate because they're the ones who have the majority. And what they say goes. And so as long as we can, coast along like this, I've been telling y'all, this is hitting us all. And it's only a matter of time until it touches you, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, independent, non-citizen, citizen ready to take your oath, whatever it is, it's going to get to you. So it looks like I'm about to lose my internet here. It's coming back up. So let's go ahead and start listening to what they say.
Before our very eyes, an unelected shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government. Last Friday, DOGE forcefully gained access to the Treasury Department's payment systems and to the most sensitive information of virtually every U.S. citizen. Donald Trump basically handed DOGE the Social Security data of virtually every American citizen.
What DOGE has done, Elon Musk is DOGE. He's in charge of this, saving money for the United States. And he's gone in there with his tech guys, young, like under 25. These guys are in there and they've got all your information. And they're going to reiterate through this video how easy one mistake could destroy us. This man has got so much power right now. I cannot believe he's gone into these federal offices and told them to leave, that he's now in charge. I can't even.
Donald Trump gave DOGE access to America's personal tax refund data. He gave DOGE access to people's Medicare and Medicaid benefits, disability payment data, veteran benefit data. Worst of all, we don't know what DOGE intends to do with this information. If you want to know how an unelected shadow government operates, look no further than DOGE. DOGE staffers, whomever they are, now have unprecedented access to the most sensitive payment data in the entire federal government, with no transparency, with no guardrails. And guess what? The one independent watchdog who could have provided oversight was fired by Donald Trump over a week ago.
What do you think about that? Fire whoever can be in control of this, fire them and put your man out there, and he's got unfettered access to everything federal, and all these programs. This covers all these programs. You're going to hear all the ins and outs of what this all means to us.
The Treasury Secretary must revoke DOGE's access to the Treasury payment system at once. If not, Congress must act immediately. That is why Leader Jeffries and I are working together on legislation, which we will introduce, to stop unlawful meddling in the Treasury Department's payment systems. We must protect people's Social Security payments, their Medicare payments, tax refunds from any possible tampering by DOGE or any other unauthorized entities. Let's be very clear. DOGE is not a real government agency. It has no authority to make spending decisions. It has no authority to shut programs down or ignore federal law. To give DOGE a chokehold on Treasury payments is outlandishly dangerous. It's like putting a tiger into a petting zoo and then hoping for the best. It's impossible to overstate that this is playing with fire. The Bureau of the Fiscal Service, which oversees these Treasury Department payments, executes over 1 billion transactions a year worth $6 trillion. If these payments were ever intentionally or even accidentally halted or manipulated, it could paralyze our economy if we're not careful. One mistake, and people's Social Security benefits could freeze.
Did you hear that?
Disability
Hear that? Hey, Marie. Let's replay that last few seconds. Listen to this.
Security benefits could freeze.
Oops, I didn't go back far enough. Let's see if that.
$6 trillion. If these payments were ever intentionally or even accidentally halted or manipulated, it could paralyze our economy if we're not careful. One mistake, and people's Social Security benefits could freeze.
Think about that. Like one mistake, one little technical mistake or intentional oopsie could halt all the Social Security payments. What if your mother or your grandmother or you is on your Social Security that you paid into your whole life, and now these kids have control of it? Now, I'm not saying these guys aren't brilliant. They're able to crack in there and do all this stuff without any, who knows what they've even gone in and done. They might have already redistributed our money to Elon Musk. Who knows? He could take all the money. I don't know why I would need any more money. He's got 12 kids, though. They are, Marie. That's horrible. One mistake. And you're not talking about people that need to go get a job. We're talking about people who can't work or people who are too old to work. And there's a reason why Social Security was put into place. It was for our retirement. A lot of people don't make enough money to save and have a retirement. It just doesn't always happen. We're dependent upon this. We paid into it. And now we've got some freaking man in control of it with his little tech guys in there just wiggling their fingers. It's terrifying to me. If it's not terrifying to y'all, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Disability payments, aid to veterans, loans to small businesses, they could all be in danger.
Veterans.
The Treasury Department is already using extraordinary measures to ensure we do not default on the debt. If DOGE's careless meddling caused us to default, it could trigger a worldwide financial crisis. This all begs an obvious question. What does DOGE really want with this data? What possible reason is there to give right-wing extremists people's Social Security payments, Medicare payments, and personal information? Will DOGE try to halt Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid payments? God forbid. God forbid. Will DOGE cut funding to programs approved by Congress that Donald...
The money that is in these programs, that this federal money goes to these programs, it doesn't just go there willy-nilly for no reason. It's not enough money. We have money going to these federal programs to feed our children that are poor so that they can get a better education because they have food. Because, God made us to eat food and drink water, without either of which we cannot survive. And so the least you can do in an educational program is feed the kids who don't have enough money, or maybe their parents spent all the money on something, like drugs or something. It's so scary. This is so scary. Come on, Chuck.
Trump decides he doesn't like. What about cancer research, food banks, school lunches, veterans aid, literacy programs, small business loans. How do we know Doge won't use its access to the Treasury to enrich Donald Trump's billionaire friends? What if they go after business competition of Doge's leadership? It is laughably naive to look at the wealthy billionaires who run Doge and take them at their word that all they care about is efficiency. Give me a break. The Treasury Department must revoke Doge's access to the Treasury payment system at once. We must halt this unlawful and dangerous power grab. Doge has no business anywhere near the federal government's payment systems, nor America's private data. Senator Murray.
Let me ask you this. Everybody's seen The Wizard of Oz, right? You saw The Wizard of Oz? The man behind the curtain, the great and powerful Oz. He didn't even have any power. He didn't have anything. He just had this illusion of power, right? Everybody talked about him. He's behind this curtain. You know, nobody knew there was a little squirrely looking man back there. He had all the power. Well, this isn't that. This isn't that. What this is a man who has SpaceX. He owns Tesla. He's a tech giant. He's got the right people to do all these things. He didn't have to go in there and say, now, show me how you do this. Show me how you cut a check over here to this. We don't want to feed those starving kids over there anymore. And now they've cut off, well, yesterday they were trying to cut off aid to other countries, which we do as a humanitarian effort to keep those people happy with us at the same time as, they're other human beings, right? You just don't cut shit like that. And you didn't vote it in. As far as, Trump, it doesn't matter which president was in there. We go through Congress. They approve these things. We go through a process. Hey, Melanie, they go through a process and we do all these things to get government. It takes years sometimes to make changes in government. And Trump has let Elon Musk walk in there and have all this control over us and the country's financials. That's our money. It's our money, not Elon Musk or Trump. I missed you, Melanie. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, we're 2 weeks in, and it is already painfully clear this is the most corrupt administration in our history, and it's putting our economy, our government, and our most at-risk communities in serious jeopardy. In particular, we learned that Elon Musk now has access to the Treasury Department's most sensitive payment system, handling $6 trillion every year and managing nearly all federal disbursements.
$6 trillion a year, and almost all of our disbursements, all of it, all the federal money that goes to all the different states and all the different countries and all the people, the millions of people, he's got control. He's got access to that. Oh, Melanie, thanks for coming in and saying that, because I feel like I'm the only one. I've been talking about, and if y'all didn't watch my video I made yesterday, it's how you can contact, it's very simple how you can contact your representatives and senators in your state. And I've got in the about section of that one, the numbers to call, or, to find out which representative is yours and which senators are yours. And it gives you the number. You can call them directly. And there's also a link in there about, a script. When I called yesterday, I haven't called yet today, I started reading the script and then I just said, look, we need Elon Musk out. We didn't elect him. We didn't put him in power. And we need to protect Social Security, because you should pick a couple of things that are important to you. And I'm scared about it all. I'm glad you're here, because I don't want to scare people as much. I want to scare you into action, right? Because I'm nervous about it. I wake up thinking about it and I go to sleep thinking about it. Forget all the YouTube or, stuff that we've been watching. Some of us came from a community where it's just a lot of drama and it's entertaining, but this is life or death for people. How many people do you know elderly or disabled people who could just not get their Social Security or their and because it would be both, and their Medicare, or even Medicaid, because Medicaid is for people who don't have enough money to pay their bills, to pay for insurance. They don't make below a certain level. So you can be on Social Security and have Medicare and Medicaid, but if you make enough, you're just on Medicare. And if any of those go away, it's disastrous. You're talking about young pregnant women who are trying to do the right thing and have their baby, and they don't have any money, and Medicaid's helping them, but Medicaid could be gone. All your people in the medical field, they're not going to have jobs if insurance goes away. If you take away Medicaid and Medicare, you're not going to have very many patients. I know, it's horrible, Melanie.
It's a system that contains extremely sensitive, personal, and commercial information. And I've been hearing from people across my state who are truly alarmed about what Musk and his associates having access to this system could mean for their data and for funding that they count on. Let's not mince words here. An unelected, unaccountable billionaire with expansive conflicts of interest, deep ties to China, and an indiscreet axe to grind against perceived enemies is hijacking our nation's most sensitive financial data systems and its checkbook so that he can illegally block funds to our constituents based on the slightest whim or wildest conspiracy. Funds, mind you, that Congress passed on a bipartisan basis. Some Republicans are trying to suggest that Musk only has viewing access to Treasury's highly sensitive payment system, as if that's acceptable either. But why on earth should we believe that, particularly when he is saying the exact opposite loudly and repeatedly for everyone to see? What funds will Elon target next?
Now think about it like this: if you're watching me and you're Republican and you voted for Trump, or you're on his side. Okay, what if Biden had brought in some other tech giant and did the same thing? Would you not be freaking out if some unknown person to the government, unelected, not appointed in the correct way? I think Trump did appoint him, but it's a made up it's a made up thing, and he's given him power. What would you do? Just think, just take out your politics in this situation as far as left or right. That's all out the window because this affects everybody. If you don't think shutting down all this government spending, our money, insurance, money to live on that people paid for, it'll be a war. It'll be a civil war. The old people won't be able to fight. The disabled people won't be able to fight. It's up to the people who have the ability to stand up now and do something about this. And this, what they're saying, okay, good, but I mean, it's not going to solve anything. They're going to have to do, the behind the door stuff.
Life-saving medical research, housing assistance, food banks. We already know he is falsely attacking faith-based organizations that help people and promising to cut off funds based off conspiracy theories. The world's richest man has vowed to cut off funding that helps the least among us. Think about that. And next, think about how many dollars he himself makes from government contracts. And the Trump administration is handing the keys of the Treasury to him. It does not get more blatantly corrupt than that. And let me underscore just how dangerous this is, because now that Trump has handed over Treasury's checkbook, what if Elon decides he doesn't like how Ford is getting federal funds to build an EV battery plant? What's next? All Elon has to do is say, oh, they're woke, and he can convince Trump to illegally cut off those funds. Maybe Elon will decide he doesn't like that Blue Origin and not SpaceX gets a contract, so he wants to gum up the works on their payments. Private corporations and competitors take note. And anyone who thinks that surely won't happen has not been paying attention. Now, make no mistake, Trump and Musk have absolutely zero legal authority to hold up any federal payments that are law. But that has not stopped them so far. This country is still reeling from the chaos of last week's blanket spending freeze, and Trump's illegal EOs to withhold funds are still not yet revoked. Trump and Musk have yet to find a law they think.
Let me stop for a minute and read y'all something she was talking about the day that he shut down. I don't know what supposedly didn't mean. It was supposedly just an outage that Medicaid went out for like 24 hours. Their portal, I guess you go to the doctor and they're able to log into this portal, and it was down. Let me just read something to y'all. It'll take me just a second to find it here. I'm not going to pull it up because it's personal to me. Not to me, but okay. Here it is. This was the day that, I guess the day it was frozen. And this is from a Children, Youth, and Family Services organization. To our community, as you may be aware, the federal government has implemented a freeze on federal funding that directly impacts the critical programs we provide to at-risk children, runaway and homeless youth, victims of domestic violence and their families, as well as those experiencing or at risk of experiencing homelessness across our communities and our state. Now I'm just taking out, this is somebody who gets money to help people, and they help a lot of people. I just read off who all they help. While we understand there is a pause for the freeze while more answers are found, yeah, they did, and then they said, oh no, we'll pause it for, what was it, 30 days or something. Everybody was freaking the frick out because they paused. The portal was down, and we were told that federal funding was paused. So, they said, well, we understand there is a pause for the freeze while more answers are found. We understand the situation raises concerns about the continuity of our services. We want to assure you that the safety and well-being of those we serve remains our highest priority. And then they go on. They don't know what they're going to do. We do not yet have all the answers regarding the long-term implications of this funding freeze, but their board is working diligently to develop a comprehensive sustainability plan to ensure that our services remain available to those who depend on them. If you're talking about feeding children or homeless people, and they say, well, there's not going to be any federal funding for 30 days. Well, how are you going to do that for 30 days without the funding? So it was very shocking. Everything went down that day. Go over here. Everything went down that day, and we didn't know what was going to happen next. We just didn't know. And then Trump came back and said, I think later the same day even, and rescinded that. Marie, at least Biden forgave my student loans. Yes. Obama helped me with that. They should be more concerned about all the plane accidents. That's a major issue. Well, the plane accidents are that's a whole nother ball game. Fortunately, they've kind of slowed down, haven't they?
It applies to them. That is not how things work in this country. We have a democracy. We have checks and we have balances, where the president is accountable to Congress, where we pass the laws and he implements them. But some of my colleagues across the aisle seem to be forgetting that our democracy doesn't work by magic. We have to do our part to hold the president accountable. Our job is not to say yes to everything any president does, no matter how lawless or harmful. Democrats are pushing back with the tools that we have. We'll speak out, we will press this administration, we will open investigations, and we will demand accountability. The one tool we do not have is the majority in this Congress. So that means our Republican colleagues have to say enough. We need them to join us. We need them to stand up to the corruption and lawlessness and stand up for the people they represent. Ron.
Thank you, Senator Murray. And I got horse flying all night, so no filibusters from me. Our finance investigators got confirmation from whistleblowers late Friday that the Treasury Secretary had turned the keys over to the Musk hatchet squad. And here's where we are now. It is clear that unqualified...
Imagine if you owned a Walmart store or let's say an independent store. Big store like that. I don't know if there's any such thing, but you just own this huge big store and somebody came in and you just said, here, and just tossed them the keys. Yeah, Marie, a few weeks ago, we were worried about these unknown flying objects that appeared to be drones, and nobody knew what was going on. And Biden didn't tell us what it was, and then Trump came out and said it was just drones, no big deal. And then we had the two very odd plane crashes that I know of. Somebody said there were 5 in 48 hours. I don't know about all that, but you had that, apparently a helicopter flew right into that passenger jet. It's just been weird. But a lot of people don't see it, which is scary to me. My own mother told me not to worry because she wants me to go visit in Florida. Oh, no, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't fly right now. I'm kind of scared. I was scared when I first flew. Like I was taking Xanax to fly. And then I went on a few trips and I got used to it, but I haven't flown now in quite a lot of years. And I've never been on a helicopter because helicopter blades freak me out. I don't know if I could even get on a helicopter. If it wasn't running, yeah, but I think I'd be scared. Your family thinks you're scared, you're crazy and paranoid. I'm probably, a little crazy and paranoid about money right now because we don't know what's going to happen. And I'm dependent upon, and I just feel like we're all dependent upon the people who get Social Security getting Social Security and Medicare, and in the people who get Medicaid. We're dependent upon that as a whole United States because the economy is just going to crash without people being able to buy food and have insurance, and you're just going to be sick. And I read y'all that post by a friend of mine who has cancer. She's in her third treatment. They can't believe she's still alive. The doctors are waiting. She's living, being kept alive for the next treatment. And then he halted research. The recording from the black box is out. Look up the pilot. The pilot of the helicopter is, I think, one of the pilots on the helicopter is a lesbian, and people are making a big to-do about that. What makes your sexual orientation have anything to do with how good you can fly a plane? And she's very well trained. And yeah, she was in the White House for some reason with Biden, under Biden. Yeah, people can't afford your meds. I picked up a med today. I'm only on, I only take one medication that I have to have. And then I take another medication for my pain. It's a muscle relaxer, but I mostly just take it to sleep, help me sleep. Um, anyway, I don't even have to refill it every month because I only take like one a day and I get 90 of them. And so anyway, it went from a $8 copay to $11 copay today, 11 and some cents from the last, from last year. Now that's not a whole lot, but if you look at percentages from 8 to 11, I don't know what that percentage, and I could do the math, but I don't want to. What if you were paying 300 for it? And we went over the math of the tariffs, but now the tariffs are all on hold. So that's a good thing. Yeah, it's able to fly on its own. Why didn't they eject themselves? I don't think they saw that they were, for some reason, I don't think they saw what was going on. Yeah, she's linked to Biden. I'm sorry, Marie, I just don't see anything in that gay helicopter pilot has anything to do with killing. Now, I'm not saying a person couldn't be, radicalized or somehow taken over their mind, but because it's a lesbian, no. It's the same here in food, electricity, gas, everything went up. Then your hairstylist goes up, because water went up and their products went up and their taxes went up on their building or their rent went up on their building. All these increases trickle down to the buyer. It's on us, y'all, and we're the only ones that have a say in stopping this. I need to stay focused because this is about Elon Musk having highly sensitive information on all of us and the ability to take our money. I know. Oh no.
And unaccountable people have seized control of the flow of taxpayer funds and a trove of extremely sensitive data. They are seizing the tools you need for a coup. Their first target out of the gate wasn't anything to do with fraud or waste. It was a religious data. They are seizing the tools you need for a coup. Their first target out of the gate wasn't anything.
They're seizing the tools they need for a coup. It's enough right there. Her sexual preference has nothing to do with it. I agree. They saw something before happen. You hear them on a black box recording. I haven't heard the recording. I didn't know that they said, they asked them if they saw the plane. There were a lot of planes, and it's at least in the beginning was thought that they saw another plane, a different plane, because there was another plane. Like when we saw it, there was a plane that's like, it looks like it's flying towards the camera, and then you've got them back there crashing. So it could have been some other plane. You weren't sure why the connection in Biden. Yeah. She was in some photographs and with Biden and something to do with pride. And I mean, like, I don't know. A majority of people who are homosexual are not looking to hurt the government. They're looking to be accepted and loved and be able to be who they are and do, who we are has nothing to do with being some kind of lunatic, Oh, I'm glad you're here, Melanie. This is what I've been saying and worried about no one. Yeah, I know. That's what my channel's going to be, right? At least for now. I'm just, my channel's been kind of screwy because I've gone and, covered this for a while and this for a while and this for a while. And, I've been not getting any views lately. And I'm not even I'm not worried about views and all that anymore. Except I want to get this out, and please share this out. Please share it on if you have a community page, or share it on your, share it to your friends and email, share it. We need to get it out. We need to get out what they're saying, not necessarily me ranting and raving about stuff, but this is important. Musk has, like I said, he's got more information on me than my own family.
To do with fraud or waste. It was a religious charity for poor people. If Donald Trump cared about improper payments, he wouldn't have fired the inspectors general. Nobody should fall for that bit of misdirection. Now, a few hours ago, Trump claimed that Musk only looks at payments and doesn't have the authority to shut any down. That's Donald Trump. It's pretty clear, folks, that Musk sees it differently. As Trump and Musk continue targeting Americans they don't like, there's nothing to stop them from cutting off Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid, penalizing cities and states that defy Trump's illegal orders. And a lot of us care deeply, as our constituents do, about privacy. Musk has access to the personal information of hundreds of millions of Americans' bank accounts, tax data, Social Security numbers, home addresses. If people are creeped out, and you heard from Senator Murray how folks in the Northwest feel about this, Elon Musk and his Hatchet Squad having your bank accounts, your home address, Social Security number. Trust me, folks in the Pacific Northwest think that this is way out of bounds.
I think it's way out of bounds, and I'm down here in the South. So let me listen to this again.
Access to the personal information of hundreds of millions of Americans' bank accounts, tax data, Social Security numbers, home addresses. If people are creeped out, and you heard from Senator Murray how folks in the Northwest feel about this, Elon Musk and his Hatchet Squad having your bank accounts, your home address, Social Security number. Trust me, folks in the Pacific Northwest think that this is way out of bounds. Do
you ever feel uncomfortable when you have to fill out a form and you have to put on there all that information in one place? You got to go to the doctor. You got to list your Social Security number, your home address, your phone number, your emergency contacts. Do you not know that they have all of that? He's got all of that now. He could probably make robots to impersonate us. They probably got photographs of us too. Melanie, I didn't know you were a Canadian citizen. Cool. I don't know about anything that happened with Barclays Bank, Marie. I've been really focusing on this stuff with Trump because it's just, it's like, I wish we could just go back to worrying about if TikTok was going to go away. I don't know. Me too, Melanie. I'm just like, I don't even know.
For government. The Musk Hatchet Brigade has infiltrated a gold mine of data that every foreign spy and every corrupt actor would love to see. It is a prescription for nightmares.
Hackers.
Let's remember that Musk reportedly couldn't get a security clearance because of his financial ties to the Chinese government.
What if the Chinese government wanted to take over America? They probably got access to just out all of our electricity, which cuts off, you can't go fill up your car if there's no electricity. There's no pump. There's no internet because there's no electricity. We're all cut off from each other. Emergency services is shut down. What are you going to do? I mean, you don't want information control in the wrong hands. And we've given that to Musk. Now, that's not the power grids or anything, but that's not saying that he wouldn't be able to get in those. Yeah, let's worry about TikTok. I don't even care. But I started saying, I felt bad about TikTok because a lot of people have made a living there, and there's nothing wrong with making a living. A lot of businesses are making it because they went viral on TikTok. Some went viral on Instagram. Some went viral on YouTube. Everybody, that's successful, that has really, built a business in this last, couple of decades is because of that. Has a lot to do with that. Watch Shark Tank. They'll say, well, how's your social media? We don't really know how to do it. Well, you're not going to make it then. Barclays is American, so I wondered people couldn't access money. Some were talking out. Oh, yeah, now they're saying our banks are going to fail. I'm not going to panic about it. If it gets to that point, I just feel like I'm just at the end of my rope financially. You know, I'm not able to like think about having to fend for yourself with no grocery store and no way to drive anywhere, no food, no water. I felt bad too, and I'm selfish because I wasn't. Yeah.
Government and his other foreign connections. That's the guy, folks, who's now got his hands on the personal data of hundreds of millions of Americans and some unknown number of businesses and groups. Last point, the Trump administration caused chaos in Medicaid and other services that are important to Americans last week when they shut down the primary payment portals to states and social service agencies. These are incompetent people. They don't care about the damage they're doing. And now they may be in charge of the tightrope walk the Treasury has to do to avoid defaulting on out of debt. We're one mistake away from economic catastrophe.
One mistake away.
Who are we going to next?
Okay.
Senator Warren.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to be clear about what's going on here.
Just note how color-coded these guys are. And I really like his tie. And I really like her jacket. I do. I like them. I love purple.
The system that makes sure that your granddad gets his Social Security check, the system that makes sure that your mom's doctor gets Medicare payment to cover her medical appointment, and the system that makes sure that you get the tax refund that you're owed has been taken over by Elon Musk. And every organization from your state government that uses federal money on that bridge project to the local Head Start that takes care of little kids while their mommies and daddies go to work is now at the mercy of Elon Musk. Maybe you get paid or maybe you don't, because now it appears that all of us work for Elon Musk. Elon just grabbed the controls of our whole payment system, demanding the power to turn it on for his friends or turn it off for anyone he doesn't like. One guy deciding who gets paid and who doesn't. It is not the law, but it is the reality. Now, there's a second problem here. It's not just payments from the federal government that are now in Elon's control. Elon and his handful of friends now have full access to your personal and financial information that's in the system. Your payment history, your Social Security number, your bank account numbers. Elon now has the power to suck out all of that information for his own use. Now, whether it's to boost his finances or expand his political power.
Does anybody know how much that information's worth per person? Because I know there's people who like sell your email address because having a person's email address is valuable. That's why companies will advertise. You click on an advertisement and it'll say, and you'll look around for a minute and then it'll go, give us your email address and you can save 10%. So you give them your email address and then you get to another page and it says, now give us your phone number so we can text you and you will get that 10%. You give them all this information. And it's worth a lot to get a new customer, to get you to come back again, to send you their email. So how much if that's all he got was just our Social Security number and our address or our phone number, anything like that. Oh, this person here, they make X amount of dollars per year and they live in a, nice, it's just a lot. I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Oh, Melanie, make sure you're subscribed, girl, because I'm gonna be talking about this stuff.
It is all up to Elon. And there is a third problem. In order for this handful of programmers to gain access to our $6 trillion payment system, we don't know what safeguards were pulled down. Are the gates wide open now for hackers from China, from North Korea, from Iran, from Russia? Heck, who knows what black hat hackers all around the world are finding out about each one of us and copying that information for their own criminal uses. Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies are determined to take over this government to make it work better for themselves and worse for everyone else. And this is just the start. As we gear up for the tax fight, it will become even clearer that Trump will open the doors for his billionaires and giant corporations to find more ways to loot the government at your expense. Meanwhile, everyone else pays more for groceries, more for housing, more for prescription drugs, and more for health care. When unelected billionaires start ransacking our government offices, this is not business as usual. Nope, nothing is normal. We are living a nightmare created by Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and we need to wake up. We need to use every tool we have to fight back. And in the Senate, we can start by saying no to dangerous Trump nominees like Tulsi Gabbard and Russ Vought.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? Again, what we can do is educate our friends and families and call your senator and your representative. Again, go to my video from yesterday and it'll show you, it wasn't a live, it was a video, and it'll tell you how to find out your representative, and it'll give you, and then you can get their phone number and you just call and you say blah, blah, blah. And it also gives some instructions on, there's a couple of links to tracks you can use. Okay, meeting, Melanie. See you in a minute.
That's it for me. Go ahead.
I just want all of you to imagine yourself a foreign correspondent. How would you cover this if this were in South America or Central America or Sub-Saharan Africa? How would the coverage change? If you don't like an agency, if you don't like a spending provision, propose a bill, pass a law. That is so foundational to the American system of government that I don't want to race past this idea that you can wave away a federal law because you don't like it. And so it is both an outrage and an illegal act, but it also gives us some confidence, and the public should have some confidence. The law here is absolutely on the side of the American people being in control of taxpayer funds through the Congress. And so they are depending on some sort of sense of swagger and inevitability to storm into buildings and take over the servers and to run the databases and to relieve people of their duties. Like this is some hostile takeover of a tech company. This is your government.
Scary.
And you can hate parts of it and love parts of it and be neutral about other parts of it, but it's still your government. And the way a person expresses their views about spending is by electing a member of Congress who believes what they believe. And so if anyone in the Trump administration wants to modify the spending law that was enacted, you gotta come back to Congress and modify the law that was enacted. This is not some minor transgression. This is an illegal act. They stormed into buildings. They shut down agencies illegally. And sure, first it was USAID, but they are now systematically going into the Small Business Administration, the Department of the Treasury, and they will not stop until they believe they have total control over spending. And that's not the way the American system of government is supposed to work.
And why are we not stopping it?
Thank you.
I have questions.
Infuriating.
Senator Schuch, you had put a hold on all State Department nominees, but this is to all of you.
Can't really
Why
hear
go
their
to the mat?
question.
With all these nominees on the floor, I know we're coming in and out of executive session on Russ vote. Why not, if you're so upset about this, and this is such a damning action down there, make them go through every single parliamentary hurdle, go in and out of executive session, put holds on every single nominee, and make this as difficult as possible.
We are pursuing every action that we think we can do. But I will tell you this, we are here to pull the fire alarm. We are pulling the fire alarm. It is up to Republicans, who are the majority in Congress, who are passing these nominations, who are sitting silently by while Elon Musk goes into departments, into agencies, and takes your information. It is up to them to decide whether they want to get out the fire hoses or sit in the fire. And I think we know what they need to do, and we're calling on them to do that.
Please
Chad,
do it.
one fact I know, because you follow the finance committee, the filing season has just started. And we got word that Musk apparently doesn't agree with the Treasury Secretary. The Treasury Secretary said that he was going to allow direct file, this new approach that Senator Warren and a whole group of us have been after for years, because we're the only Western industrialized nation that doesn't use this approach. And we've got to run this to ground, but it's our understanding that Musk is going after that. And if that's the case, that will be an immense burden on people who've already started to file their taxes. This is out of control and simply cries out for some accountability. And that's what we're focused on. And a bunch of us are on the tax committee and are already working on it.
Yes.
Can you just expand on that a little bit? You are in the minority right now. You are fighting this through your communications, but what other steps can Democrats do to, like you say,
Well, first of all, remember here we are, a week later, a week ago, the Trump administration illegally started impounding money that Congress in a bipartisan fashion had agreed to put into law. Within a few days, we had legal challenges to that in the courts, and every judge that has seen this, to my knowledge, has told them that this is illegal and that they need to start the payments again. I will, as an aside, tell you I spent the day on the phone with a number of my constituents who were calling who still don't have access to their funds. So we have an administration right now who doesn't believe the law applies to them. We will pursue this in the courts. We will demand that our counterparts in the Republican caucus also call on the president to follow the law. And we will again ask everyone out there to let your legislator know, use your voice to let your members of Congress know you will not stand for this. That's what changed last week.
One final thing on the procedural stuff. We're just not going to preview. We're just not going to preview all of our parliamentary moves. We have leverage. We don't have extensive leverage, but we're not without tools, and we will be using them, but we're not going to announce all of what we're up to today.
Good.
Do any of you see the March 14th government funding deadline as a point of leverage? And if so,
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you plan to use it?
Well, I don't know that it's a point of leverage. It's a fact. On March 14th, the government shuts down. Between now and then, we have to have an agreement, bipartisan, that goes through Congress, that is passed by the House and by the Senate. And what is giving me great pause right now is, what if we do all that and come to an agreement and, we like some, we don't like some, but we voted in, and this administration says that's bunk. We don't have to go by that. So the level of trust is at the lowest I have ever seen it here in Congress, in our ability to work together, find a compromise, and get it passed. It is up to our Republican colleagues to stand up to this and assure us that an agreement and a law is real and that they will follow up with this. So yes, we're all worried about the government shutdown deadline of March 14th. No Democrat wants the government to shut down. We have all worked extremely hard to come to an agreement. We expect our Republican colleagues to stand up and work with us to get it done in a system of trust that this democracy is founded on.
Senator Whiting, can you expand on how do you know Musk is trying to get in the way of direct filing for taxes?
Well, we've heard it several places. Mr. Kerry can get you some of the details, but yeah. And the point really is, it's almost government by whim. You know, we're used to rules and the opportunity for all sides to be heard. On the Finance Committee, we have worked on this for years and years, and we said we want to save $500-600 for the working guy. It is now the filing season, and based on what we've heard, essentially Musk, I guess, says he's now going to be Secretary of Treasury as well as everything else, because he's telling Bessent, you know, he's going to go in there, and Bessent told us in the Finance Committee, when I asked the question, he said it is on for this year, and people have started filing.
Have you tried getting a hold of the Treasury Secretary in these last few days, and is he responding to you?
He certainly didn't consult with us. Under normal circumstances, the Treasury Secretary consults with the committee, and we've heard nothing from him on this.
Can I ask a question about USAID?
Last question, and we'll let Brian take it.
Yeah.
Now, your former colleague, Senator.
I mean, I don't know how close we are to being in a catastrophic situation. We could be a second away because, I mean, who's running the ship? Elon?
Secretary Rubio said today of USAID, he said, my frustrations with USAID go back to my time in Congress. It's a completely unresponsive agency, and it's supposed to respond to policy directives from the State Department, and it refuses to do so. I know that some of you all have good relationships with him. Have you tried to reach out to him today about USAID? Do you remember him talking about this when he was a member? Have you heard this from other Republicans?
We've been in constant, my office and a number of us in the Senate have been in constant contact with Secretary Rubio about this. He's been obviously overseas, so a little harder to catch. Here's what I would say about that. If there is an opportunity to look at reform, I am all ears. I'm now the ranking member of the SFOPS subcommittee. Lindsey Graham and I had a conversation about the kinds of reforms that were being contemplated by the secretary, but we cannot have a negotiation when the whole agency is illegally shut down. If the agency is reopened, then we can start acting like adults again and have a negotiation, but right now they've illegally shut down all foreign aid.
One other point of fact for you is we passed the foreign assistance appropriations bill in Congress last year. It was completely, everyone voted for it on a bipartisan basis across the board, every single member. No one raised any issues that you just stated, no one. And we had a full committee hearing and markup, and none of that was raised.
Can I just ask one follow-up? I have heard from someone with USAID who's stationed abroad who has not been locked out of their systems. You're saying everything is shut down. Is that the case?
I can't speak to individual employees. What I can tell you is that money is not flowing. I can tell you that medicine is not being delivered. I can tell you that there is medicine on the dock that was abandoned and spoiled. I can tell you that people are evacuating countries. I can tell you that there is an outbreak of Ebola in Uganda and Marburg virus in East Africa. And all of those programs are either completely shut down or hobbled to the point where people can't deliver aid. And it's not just about providing life-saving care. It's about maintaining stability overseas so that that instability doesn't visit us in the United States.
Did you just hear what he said? It's very important. Let me just go back.
Tell you that there is an outbreak of Ebola in Uganda and Marburg virus.
And Trump shut down the agencies from notifying us about Ebola outbreaks or bird flu. And we don't get that information. It's been banned from us hearing it. This is not a dictatorship. He's not authoritarian. He is elected U.S. president with checks and balances. And why aren't we following those?
Virus in East Africa, and all of those programs are either completely shut down or hobbled to the point where people can't deliver aid. And And it's not just about providing life-saving care. It's about maintaining stability overseas so that that instability doesn't visit us in the United States.
Thank you all
Thank you.
very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, that instability, you keep your you help these other countries, and like you don't want these diseases brought over here. You don't. I mean, there's so much to this, and I just get more and more upset as I watch and listen. And at least I found this morning, and I was like, oh, good. At least they're doing something. It seems really calm and everything, but they're being, you know, politicians, and no politician is without their problems. I promise you. There's always problems, and because you know why? Because they're human. And now we've got this human running our country, Elon Musk. If any, I know that people are very emotionally attached to their Trump, to President Trump, and I'm not trying to tell you that you can't love him or like him or anything. What I'm telling you is this is going to affect you too. Ha ha ha, look what he's doing. No, you're not going to be doing that. You're going to be, oh shit. Now it's affecting me, because I don't care what your job is. I don't care how much you make. When you can't drive down the street, I mean, this could go a lot of different ways. I'm not even going to go there with my thoughts, but I just want to say, please watch my video from yesterday about here. I'm going to put that in chat. I'm going to put the link in chat, because I need you guys to make these calls. It's a 10-minute and 33-second video. Please watch it, and please, let me get that link. And it'll tell you how, what to say, why it's important for you to call. Oops. Stop. Stand when you hear your own voice. Okay, here's the link to that video. This is something that you can do. If you're watching this on the replay, I know not a lot of people are watching live, but hopefully some people see the replay. YouTube, please go watch that video that I just put in chat. That's something that you can do. Again, share that out. We need everybody to know what's going on. We can't bury our heads in the sand and pretend like nothing's going to happen. This could be the last time I could go live about this. They may say, no more. You can't talk about him anymore. Who knows? Do it. Thanks, Marie. I'm about to go. See you soon. Thanks for being here. Do what you can do, and what you can do is call your Congress people, your representatives, and your senators, and that video will tell you. And there's a script in there, what to say, and everything you need, what you need to know, points you need to make when you call, and that's what you can do. That's what you can do. We can't. I saw a video today. I think it was on X. A guy. There's several fences around the White House, and some guy had gone all the way to the big, metal fence. I guess he climbed over it, and the dogs were coming at him, and the cops from all around. But somebody was out there, visiting, and they videotaped him, or they recorded him. Videotape, kind of old, Barb. They recorded him on their phone and showed that. He's not king, y'all. Trump is not king. Nobody appointed him a king. I know he wants to be. Elon Musk has so much power right now. It's not even. And why am I going to keep trying to convince y'all? Please hit the like button here. Please subscribe if you're interested in knowing about what's going on from a 100% independent. I don't have any, nobody's paying me anything to be here. A concerned citizen, please go watch the video that I linked here. I linked it. You can't click it on the screen, but you can click it over in the live stream. I think the comments will come back up. Y'all take care of yourselves. Look out for your neighbors. Look out for your friends who maybe are on a different side of the political thing. I know we're all divided and everything, but this is about all of us, and we all need to be on board with this. Y'all have a fabulous day, and please be aware of what's going on. And I will see y'all soon. Bye.